disrupted.
America that I fuck.
Weird thing to happen. So we got more details about the assassination plot against former President Donald Trump. And the reason I say it's a plot and rejecting anything the mainstream media has been saying about this, because they're trying to downgrade this as some sort of typical shooter, that this 20-year-old that everyone in the crowd was pointing out. We showed some of the footage earlier, and I do apologize for how late I'm bringing you this information. We're kind of in a move situation right now, so bear with us. We will strive to put out content as much as possible. But the more you read into this, the more you've actually investigate and look into the footage that people there are showing on social media, the more it's confirmed. It's not even no longer a suspicion. It's more confirmation that this had to be a setup. There had to be some sort of acknowledgement beforehand that allowed a 20-year-old to climb the building adjacent where Trump was speaking, belly crawl onto this roof with a rifle, away from Secret Service and law enforcement who saw this kid, definitely saw it within their scopes, and allowed him to open fire at the former president. There is absolutely no way that this was just a coincidence, that this was just a shooting. There's no way in hell that even Secret Service is that incompetent. The more I've read into this, and the more you see information like this, the more it's just eye-opening how far they went into this attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. And whether you agree with Donald Trump or not, regardless, I've said this before and I'll say it again, regardless of how you feel, this is traumatic. This is your government once again conspiring with others and conspiring with corporate elites and the whole entire oligarchy, collaborating together to cause political violence to their opponent because they're threatened by Donald Trump. They're threatened by Donald Trump. And as Tucker Carlson said, this is their last resort. They tried impeaching him. They tried to criminalize him. They tried to censor him out on social media. Everything. They have thrown everything in the kitchen sink to try to get Donald Trump out of the picture. Everything. And when you fail, and when you go through every single realm to try to stop Donald Trump and stop the MAGA movement, what is going to be your last resort? And it's even more deranged when you see this pop up. And this is from CBS News, out of all places. So this is from an establishment media source that they're saying that breaking snipers were stationed inside the building as Trump rally shooter climbed to the roof. A local officer says, what? Again, it's an understatement to say that no one can be this incompetent. That this definitely confirms the suspicion I've already had when I found out about this shooting, when I found out about this assassination attempt. It's confirmed that the Secret Service definitely had some sort of acknowledgement to know that a 20-year-old was going to climb the roof and try to take down Donald Trump. There had to be, because no one is this incompetent to put snipers inside a building when the rally is outdoors. No one is that stupid. Why would you put snipers inside a building when the action's happening outside? That's literally the dumbest take you can make about this. Like, are they afraid that this, after the assassination attempt, that they're gonna try to vandalize inside the building, or they're gonna shoplift? Are they gonna take some of the farming equipment? Like, what are they protecting inside a building? Donald Trump's outside in the grass, out in the fields, and you're inside a building. What are you protecting? This is your top security. This is the Secret Service. This is where all your money goes towards. And they're putting snipers inside the building. Why? What is the purpose of this? What are you protecting? I'm not a law enforcement expert, but I know common sense. I know how stupid it is if the action's outside, if all your protection is needed outside, it'd be stupid to have people inside buildings. That's the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing. It just blows my mind. So then it goes on to this. One of the snipers inside saw the attempted assassin outside and looking up at the roof. So we've said this. We've said this before. They saw this kid. They saw the shooter. They knew there was a threat coming. They knew that Donald Trump had a security threat. They knew about it. They let this kid climb up. Law enforcement, police, Secret Service were all warned about this. Even people within the crowds were pointing at the shooter, climbing up the building and telling Secret Service, hey, you got an assassin up on the roof. They did nothing. Nothing. Not even when they had him in the crosshairs. There were snipers right across from him looking directly at him. Directly at him. They could have took him down easily. They could have took him down. They could have called for backup. They could have told Donald Trump, hey, we gotta shelter you for a second because there's a critical security situation. They didn't do anything. And like I said, no one can be that incompetent. No one can be that goddamn stupid to just let this happen by a quinky dink, an oopsie. So all my suspicions I've had earlier is being confirmed. Especially knowing the fact that one of the snipers inside the building saw this kid directly. Saw the attempted assassin outside and looking up on the roof, observing the building and disappearing. I kid you not. Observing the building and disappearing. A local law enforcement tells CBS News. Is he part illusionist? Did he come from a magic festival? Shazam! The killer has returned. Shazam! Now he's gone again. What? How do you lose track of a 20-year-old with a backpack and a rifle climbing up a building? How do you lose track of that? How does someone disappear out of thin air? And let me just say how disgusting it is that outrageous amounts of money that's supposed to go into this kind of stuff, this high-level security, this is supposed to be the security of securities. And this is how they act. This is how they act. They put snipers inside the building when the action's clearly outside, so it's not protecting jack shit. They saw the potential threat. They knew it was a potential threat. They obviously saw this kid with a rifle with the intent of going up that ladder, going up to the roof, and attempting to assassinate the president. And they didn't do jack shit. Because, oh my God, he disappeared. Ooh. So, this is the article from CBS News. And this is just baffling. It says, there were 3 snipers stationed inside the building the shooter used during Saturday's shooting of former President Donald Trump. Again, I love how the media tries to downgrade this to just a simple shooting. Like, oh, it's just America. There's a shooting every day. No, it was an assassination attempt. Basically, we relived JFK. JFK got rebooted from 1963. That's what happened on that day. It failed. They didn't take down Trump as they were hoping for. But it's not just a shooting. It was an assassination attempt that the Secret Service definitely had some sort of awareness to. A local law enforcement told, with direct knowledge of the incident, told CBS News. The operations plan had them stationed inside the building, looking out windows towards the Trump. Why wouldn't you just be on top of the building or outside the building? Like, again, it doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take rocket science to understand if you're securing people at an outdoor rally, would you not be outside? Like, wouldn't that be the smart thing to do to protect people outside? Go outside? But no, we're going to stand inside with a bunch of farming equipment and protect the farming equipment. You know, not the president or the people or the spectator. No, we're not going to. Screw them. We're just going to stand in here with our thumbs up our asses and do nothing. The information about the 3 snipers being inside the building was first reported by BeaverCountian.com. I don't even know what that is. One of the snipers inside saw Thomas Matthew Crooks outside and looking up at the roof, observing the building and disappearing. A law enforcement officer tells CBS News. Crooks came back, sat down, looked at his phone. At this point, one of the snipers took a picture of him. So, they saw him long enough to take a picture of him. They witness him. They see him in direct sight to the point that they could take a picture of him. So this idea that they had no idea a 20-year-old was climbing a building with a rifle to shoot down Trump is complete crap. It's bogus. They knew it was coming. Why didn't they do anything? Why didn't they call for backup? Why didn't they cancel the rally? Why did they not tell Trump that he needs to step off stage for security reasons? Your whole entire job as Secret Service is to protect Donald Trump. Your whole entire job. And they sucked at it. And they sucked at it intentionally. Because no one can be that incompetent. Especially in Secret Service. Like, your objective, your whole entire life is dedicated to protecting a president or a politician. Your whole entire objective life is to protect the person that you are responsible for, which is Donald Trump. And they didn't do jack shit. Which makes me understand that all my suspicions were actually correct. Crooks took out a rangefinder and the sniper radioed to the command post. Crooks disappeared again. Wow. He's a really good magician. Just randomly, just woo, gone. Where'd he go? He's like Casper, the assassination ghost. Where'd he go? I can't find him. This is just, this is so baffling. This is insulting, actually. That tax dollars pay for this. You're supposed to protect the president, and this is what the best they can do. I can't believe this. Crooks disappeared again, and then came back a third time with the backpack. The snipers then called within the information that he had a backpack and said he was walking towards the back of the building. So why, again, when your instinct tell you that you need to follow this kid, then you need to go the back of the building, you need to get outside, experience some fresh air and sunlight, and follow this kid that you witness with a rifle and a rangefinder attempting to get to the top of the building. Wouldn't that be your goddamn instinct as just a person? Forget you being law enforcement or Secret Service. Just as a person. Wouldn't that be your instinct as a person, as a human being? That would be my instinct. That if I see someone with a rifle and a scope, a rangefinder, and gets on top of the building, clearly he's trying to make trouble. Clearly he's trying to kill someone. Clearly. The snipers called with the information to the back of the building. Officers believe that Crooks might have used an air conditioning unit to get onto the top of the roof. By the time other officers came for backup, he had already climbed on the top of the building and was positioned above and behind the snipers inside the building. Wait. That's a weird way to put it. You're behind snipers that are inside building. That doesn't make sense. That's a weird statement to say. How can you be behind the snipers if the snipers are below you? Anyway, this is just so confusing, even just reading this. Two other officers who heard the sniper's call tried to get onto the roof. State police started rushing into the scene. By that time, a Secret Service sniper had already killed Crooks, the officer said. And they killed him 20 minutes after the shots are fired. So, all the opportunity that they saw this potential murderer, this potential threat, every opportunity failed. And then this kid opened fires, injures Trump, kills people within the crowd, allows this violence to take place, and then all of a sudden, the instinct comes in that maybe I got to take this threat down. Maybe as a Secret Service officer, I should actually engage with this person and take down this violent threat. Holy Jesus holy. I'm trying not to swear because YouTube has a thing about that. But you get how I'm frustrated with it. I'm just so, oh my God, this is just absolutely cultivating. Like, how can you? And they're just making it sound like it's just incompetency. They're making it sound like it's an oopsie. Oh, this is just a mistake. Mistakes happen. We're not perfect. Again, it doesn't take rocket science or a genius. It basic instincts, basic common sense. If I saw that, and many people in the crowd were seeing this, they would alert people. They would alert someone. And many of the people in the crowd in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday were alerting the law enforcement, hey, there's a shooter on the roof. And clearly, they saw him too. And they didn't do jack squat. So, it has to be. There's the only logical sense this makes. The only logical sense this makes is it has to be some sort of insider ploy that they took this 20-year-old as a patsy, get him involved into the agenda of the Secret Service and the CIA and the FBI and the intelligence agencies that wanted Trump dead in the first place. So someone also sent this, and this really shows just the lack of awareness in the Secret Service and law enforcement that knew about this. They knew that there was a hazard, there was a threat. They had every opportunity to safely execute some sort of protocol to protect people, and they failed to do so. And here's just some proof of this from this guy, Kyle Becker. He says, new unseen footage. Secret Service and state police were in a mad scramble after the Trump assassination attempt to get the reactionary squad through a fence to get to the former president. So they were trying to get through a fence to protect Trump, but they failed to get over a fence. This is, it's almost too crazy to believe. It's almost too crazy and wacko for me to even comprehend and understand how stupid and insane this is, which makes me confirm, all my suspicions confirmed, makes me believe that this is entirely a setup, that they did this intentionally, that this mad scramble of, oh, I'm going to pretend to be a big boy and protect the president was all for show. And here's the footage of it, of the failure of law enforcement and Secret Service agents failing to get over a fence. And these are the men and women responsible for protecting the former president. And they're being deteriorated by a guarded fence. By a chain link fence. Look at this. Watch it. They're standing there. Oh, we're gonna. Get back. Get back.
Kill that motherfucker.
So now they're gonna try it.
Fucking hit it like you mean it.
Yeah, they got a car to drive through the fence there. Oh, maybe a fourth time. Oh, now they're gonna get wire cutters. So they try to get a car through the fence. That didn't work. They get wire cutters to get under the fence, not go over it, but go under the fence. And while all this is going on, the shooter is fired. People are bleeding, left for dead. And you have police officers standing there. I swear to God, the Uvalde cops that dealt with the school shooting massacre in Texas look more heroic than this. This is just so baffling. It's almost hard to believe. It's hard to believe that people can be this incompetent. And I strongly believe that people are not this incompetent. Because how are you paying X amount of tax dollars for this insanity, for this total failure that everyday people could easily point out and do your job better? I can't believe this, because I thought Secret Service was supposed to be top agents, like the top of the class. They were made to be this protective force. You know, they're the bodyguards. Urgh! They had the physique. They had the mind equability to do their job. And here they are doing this. I can't. This is. Oh my God. Oh, there's another fence. Now they're stuck. Oh my God.
Everybody walked that way. The guy ran in. This guy put his butt up. That's what I know.
Oh my God.
Watch the guy run.
So they have spectators. You saw the man in the red shirt there. They had spectators go and assist the officers. The officers that's supposed to be protecting them. The civilians are protecting the officers. This is like backwards Matrix world. Like, again, I can't, my mind is just blown right now at how stupid this is. How insanely chaotic, how much of a disaster this all is. And I still can't believe that after all this information gets out, there's still some people out there that are still repeating the mainstream propaganda bullshit garbage and actually said that the Secret Service tried to do their job. They were defensive of them. Well, they attempted to. They attempted to protect Trump. Because what I see there, and all the footage we've seen, and the people that were at the venue that are talking to me, that are talking to reporters, would tell you otherwise. They knew how much of a disaster it was. They knew how stupid it was to have snipers inside the building when you have a rally outside in the fields.
That's what I noticed. And then watch the guy run.
There they are on the roof. There they are finally catching the guy. And where's the other officers? Oh! They're still trying to get through that fence. Wow. That's almost hard to believe. It's almost hard to believe that those are the people designated to protect the highest commander-in-chief. I almost can't believe this, but at the same time, I do believe this. And this is where I, call me the conspiracy nut, call me a tinfoil hat wearing freak. But this is where all my suspicions have come true. And this is all confirming that there had to be. The only logical sense that makes of any of this is that this Thomas Crooks, this 20-year-old kid who happened to be in a BlackRock commercial and was apparently this loner that came out of high school and kind of a social outcast, got cultivated within the intelligence agencies as a patsy and used them the same way that Lee Harvey Oswald did with JFK. It's the only logical sense that makes of this. Because there's no way I'd be able to believe that some random 20-year-old just happened to get on top of a building when Secret Service is supposed to be protecting the area, which clearly they didn't intentionally. Didn't protect the area or any of the people there. Got on top of this building and shot down and tried to shot down the president. And if it wasn't for Trump turning his head, holy crap, it could have been a lot worse. It's again, the more you read into this, it's just mind-boggling. So here's also too I want to leave off with. This is the diagram. This is the mapping that they've shown people of how the distance between the gunman and where Trump was. This is their explanation of how this guy was able to climb the roof and how Secret Service was not able to track him down. They said it was because of a slope. They said because the roof that they were on was slanted, that they didn't have a view of the suspected gunman. That's one of the excuses that they made about this. But yet, as we just read, with the snipers inside that building, they saw this kid. They saw him enough to take a picture. They saw that he was carrying a rifle. They saw he was looking to get up that building. So where was people's responses? Where was the officers calling for, code red? We have a security detail. We have a 1136. Like, where's the protocols? It just baffles me. It baffles me that when, you see cops surrounding a homeless camp and they're trying to take down a tent encampment of homeless people, they have all protocols. They have all backup. They're engaging and smacking down the people and whipping them shape. Even the college protests of the Free Palestine movement, all the cops are there doing their protocols. They're calling for backup. They know what to do. But yet here, at the biggest point, at the biggest when you're trying to protect the former president, you immediately failed at every point in turn. And you expect me to believe it's because these people were incompetent? That there was a misunderstanding? There was miscommunication? This 20-year-old somehow appeared and then disappeared and then reappeared and disappeared like a magic act? Like David Copperfield was behind this? I don't believe it for a fucking second. I don't believe it for a goddamn second. Because it literally is insulting. It's literally goddamn insulting that they would tell us that, hide the rest of the story because they're trying to cover this up as much as possible, just like they did with JFK, just like they're doing with any serious political event, anything to control the narrative. And because of us witnessing on social media, because we have actually interacted with people, we saw people in attendance that spoke about this to reporters, we know that something was up. It absolutely smells like a deep state inside job. And people may say, oh, I sound like Alex Jones when saying that. Well, guess what? Alex Jones even predicted this. Alex Jones, as crazy as he is, does actually get things right. A broken clock is still right twice a day. And Alex Jones, like him or hate him, same with Trump, like him or hate him, sometimes they actually get things on the par. And the fact that Alex Jones is able to predict this back in 2023, Tucker Carlson predicted this at the beginning of the year, and the fact that we, for the last, how many years now, since 2016, I have seen so many people, so much rhetoric of trying to do everything they can to stop Donald Trump. And the only reason for it is because Trump is a wild card. Because he governs no differently than any other politician. He gave them tax breaks. He gave them a bit of the war machine. He was able to advance surveillance powers. So why would they attempt at every single measure to silence a person that kind of governs like them? Because Trump is uncontrollable. And they need someone like Joe Biden in power who's completely brain dead that they can use as a puppet. Donald Trump at least knows better. He knows a bit better not to always play into their game, not to follow into their traps. He was able to tell us that we had troops in Syria to guard the oil. He was the only president that I have seen shake hands with Kim Jong-un. He was the only president that I've seen actually willing to negotiate with countries instead of just continuously bombing them. And that's why they need to stop him. The same way they tried to stop JFK, because JFK would not side with the establishment, the war empire, as it was trying to collaborate, as it was trying to get details of the intelligence agency. And JFK's last speech was threatening to the intelligence agency. It's like how Donald Trump made recently speeches about how he's going to release secret documents that the FBI and the CIA have been locking for countless years. They said Trump was going to release the JFK files. Trump was going to release 9/11 files. He was going to release the Epstein client list. So, of course, there was definitely intent that they wanted this to happen. And now you can clearly see that even the competency factor, the excuse of incompetency, is a complete joke. Because even basic instinct of just any person would tell you that your reaction would be to do something. Call for backup, call for protocols, shut the thing down, get Trump away, anything. Even the people that were telling Secret Service. But they didn't do jack squat. They did not do a thing. which all confirms back to exactly kind of the same tone, rhetoric, and presentation of November 1963 in Dallas, Texas. That's the only conclusion I can come up with. And it may sound conspiratorial, it may sound like a quacky idea, but you try to tell me some sort of logical sense how a 20-year-old was able to bypass all the security detail that they clearly saw him in plain sight, down the scope, had every opportunity to stop this kid, and allowed him to open fire on Donald Trump. You give me some sort of logical excuse on how that happened. And not try to say that it was a deep state ploy. All the signs point to it.